A few years ago, I heard voices in my dreams. That reminds you of somebody, but the first dream I heard, no date, no death. The second time, the voice said, tremendous victory. The third time, I heard the voice with images. It was an empty yard and a huge white wall with the shadows of children who were playing with the shadow of a butterfly net, which was hanging out of nowhere. The children were laughing, and the voice said, shoot the shadows. I asked a good friend of mine her opinion about the dreams, and she told me, why don't you sing the words and dance on the song? No death, no death, tremendous victory. No death, no death, shoot the shadows. I danced with my company on stage on this song. The first dance was about the heart of kindness. The second was about transforming anger, riding our tigers. The third one was about generosity, etc. All of them were improvisations, and they were all prayers. Prayers that our lives and everybody else's life could become a place where we would be kind to each other. And to do that, we need wisdom. Still today, I don't have a rational conclusion about my dreams. They became a path. They opened me to the inner voices of my own heart. I had to overcome my personal drama because I could be very dramatic. I didn't know how to deal with my strong emotions. Do you? I used to sink in a black hole because of deception, or I would avoid to notice my own fears. Emotions drove me crazy. And I thought I needed so many things from outside in order to feel okay, depending on others' love, approval, and rejection. Until I looked into how much my daily life and my secret dreams could somehow get linked to each other. I started to feel that inside of me there had to be a door that could open to all the rewards and to all the understandings I was eager for. And for me, the easiest way to open the door was to dance. Dance is a key. So I trained myself how to sink deeply into my own drama, using its energy rather than believing in it, and that is possible. I joined meditation to a spontaneous dance in order to understand my own shortcomings, my own habitual tendencies, and how is it that I do to make myself and others suffer. I used to look like a kind of a superwoman, overwhelming, smiling all day long, whatever happens, even if I would be completely full of pain or fear. I just didn't know how to do another way. I learned many things in school, and most of these things were about labeling streets and countries and time, music, dance, love, books. Everything was about labeling. But I didn't know how to match this pure sense of tenderness, which I do feel since I'm a child, and now, to a world that seems to be full of speed, full of people stepping over each other, wars. As a child, I looked at that, and is it only them? Am I part of that picture? How come this world outside of me seems so different from what I can feel inside? Somehow it has to be about me. So I entered into a deep and transforming, rich process by dancing everything that was there in my heart. The daydream and the night dream had to meet. Dancing and singing the dream was the way to open my ears to another music, that is the music of my own nature. And I found that my nature has never been separated from what happens to me. It's not separated from how I experience each thing, and it is not separated from you. That is amazing. Dance is something we do and naturally we do that to express our feelings, and it shows how we react to the world. As a child, I suppose that when you were very happy, you would probably jump, clap your hands, lift your arms, turn on yourself. That is dance, that is music, and that is also completely contagious. If you really feel happy and you're dancing, everybody around you will feel the joy. And if they're not jealous, they will enjoy that too. But art is not only about expression, it is also the most natural way to understand the world through a non-discursive language. To understand the world through a non-discursive language. And that is power. I started to wonder, what if we would be spiritual dreamers, like we would be maybe swimming in our own projection all day long, just the same way we do at night when we're dreaming? That gives us at least the power to relax about the dream. I'm not able now, but I'm trying. Children, they move around all the time, and I don't think it's just because they're trying to annoy everybody. I actually think that the children are studying the world with the whole of their perceptions. They're trying to figure out life with body, speech, and mind. And all this moving around, which is the same as dancing, it seems so much to be about the body, but it's about space. Space is full of messages. This non-ending chat going on in our brain, labeling everything that happens and having a lot of opinions and commentaries and judgments about everything, doesn't allow us to listen to any of the messages. Like in here, we know we have all these Wi-Fi, cell phones, radios, TV, satellites. Maybe if we lesser our fear of silence, we hear messages without machines. Maybe if we tune in, they can inspire us. Maybe they can tell us what to do, where to go, who to talk to. They give us dreams. When you join your body to space by the sense of dance, you don't need anything else than your own naked self. All of your potentials can be immediately awakened and shared in a very direct and genuine experience. The body never lies. You may meet yourself just as you are and meet others just as they are. And you may probably feel that synergy among us is going on all the time, and that can be scary. Like if we were mixing each other, designing this dream. Suddenly, at one point, I had a brain tumor on my right hemisphere, my princess hemisphere. She was longing for a kiss. And my left hemisphere was fighting, not aware of her. Our right hemisphere is a kind of lady fairy, able to perceive the world as energy, right on the spot, here and now, without labeling. Our left hemisphere is a smart fellow, a rational warrior. He's pushing the line from past towards future, organizing everything very well in very logical and separated boxes. And I was looking for a world of paradox where my two brains could actually help each other instead of fighting. I remember of myself as a child, dancing all the time, all day long, wherever that was, and my mother was very kind to allow me to do that. I was very sensitive always, so my way to survive through the wonders and the confusions of discovering the world was to dance everywhere. And I was 10 years old, around that, in Paris, in front of my incredible Russian teacher, and I took the posture. And I opened my arms, she was looking at me. And I could feel suddenly the earth, the true sensation of Mother Earth. Can you feel her now? Can you? I could feel space, unlimited, not complicated, with no beginning, no end, the sky. My skin was full of bliss, going through my awakened nerves to the spine, from the spine back to the skin, and my heart was full of light. I was completely shining for all beings. Little girl with heaven and earth spontaneously joining in my heart. Can you feel that now? It could be happening now and all the time. But as I became better as a classical dancer, I became worse as a person. I had to be the best. And I knew how to do that. I knew how to roll over everybody. It's not that I wanted to be like that. It's that my focus was about becoming a very good classical dancer. It was not about being myself. I was training hours and hours to check in that mirror over there how my reflection someday could become a good dancer. And that frame of mind entered all of my nervous system. I think you know about Pavlov, this guy who made experiences. Do you know about that? He made experience with a dog, giving each day food to a dog after ringing a bell, and after a few days, if he would ring that bell, the dog would produce saliva without any food. That rings your bell, no? I trained hours and hours to dance really good, and I got lost in translation because I created bad mind habits, which entered all the technique of dance just as it entered everything I do. My love was far inside, hiding in my heart. The neurosis about becoming something good someday had entered all of the cells of my body, and that was somewhere else. And I lost freedom, I lost part of the heart, and I lost most of all this natural sense of here and now in a pattern which I noticed quite late. My Russian teacher, she was a fantastic lady, and she would look at students, she would say, please be lyrical. And the poor girl, she wanted to be lyrical, but it was too late. Her heart was already shut. Technique and no heart. I used to look at her and wonder, why is it that she dances like a machine? So I just ran away from home. I left school, dance, everything, family. I went in the streets. And I was with these bad boys who deal whatever they can in the streets, the dark world of drugs and sometimes music in the streets also. It was not much better, but I understood that I am free. I could go through each day challenge without being a specialist. Because I was born in a world where people believe that we have to become professional, isn't it? We have to be specialized into something, whatever that is, but be good at something. In 1981, I became a model, and I made an advertisement, which was a hell of a scandal because I ended up all naked on huge posters. They called that teasing afterwards. The number of car accidents increased in the roads of France, and my bottom became the national topic. I was very, very famous, but I decided to go away, and I hid myself in a forest, in a cabin, to practice the Buddhist meditation for a full year all alone. I was 20 years old. I didn't really like the world so much, and I hated to be a model. I just wanted something different. I finally met people who were interested in this speciality, which is to be a human being, in which nobody was too much talking about, and about being a woman also, because being a woman is a tough project, no? Huh? Could become a wife, or maybe an artist, or maybe I could become some kind of a scientist. But what about my feelings? Huh? What about sex? A little bit before, when I was 13 years old, my breast was growing, and I really looked like a fully grown-up, gorgeous woman. The men were like bees all around me, buzzing. I didn't know what to do about that. So when I finally met the people interested in this, I spent years in retreat, trying to figure out things alone. Later, when I went back on stage, I was no longer a classical dancer. I was a no dancer. I had no style. But still then, and that is what interests me here, when I was dancing, I could see, as I was doing my improvisation, that the frame of mind that had been worked on when I was a child, by looking at myself in the mirror, was coming back to me with the gesture itself. Because when you associate your body to a mind attitude, whatever mind attitude you have joined by repetition of the movement, whether that is dance or not, comes back to you with a gesture. And everything we learn by repetition. Like if you're sitting down looking at something and listen to a teacher, however is your mind at that moment is what comes back each time you sit down. It's not heaven and earth joined in your heart, usually. So I just noticed that this mind attitude actually was operating in my life. My life was full of these habits without me noticing since a long time. So I created exercises for my own sake to free myself from the labels of my daily life and to change the whole thing. I wanted everything I do to be a dance. And I wanted each movement I do each time to be the first time, last time. 1,000 times it's the first time. One step, it's the first step, it's the last step. First breath, last breath. You once, twice is once, third time is once. Not easy, but we can do it. And I noticed that my life was changing with these training. I was changing. And I could understand patience if I would create art about patience. And I could also understand my own neurosis, creating art about neurosis. I could sometimes receive a few messages in space if I would just let a little bit go of my hopes and fears. So that's how my dance became singing, washing dishes, walking in the streets, whatever it is. That's how my daily life became a dance. And now my students are doing the same. We dance our lives even though we're not always dancers. Dancing our lives is about whatever happens. And we noticed that when we are together, sometimes there's something magic that happens. And that magic happens because when people are together in a generous and genuine way, an open way, this magic that happens spontaneously is a natural display. It is a kind of wisdom. It's completely full of love, and it's free. It just doesn't last a very long time because we cannot help ourselves going back to this tension of attack, defense, territory. So we created a network of people that called Danza Duende. It's also a school, and we're training ourselves to open up as much as we can to the present moment and its magic through whatever we learn, whatever we teach, as if each moment was a dance. I call it a state of humanness. And to do that, we need to relax about man and woman, in and out, past and future, fear and hope. I believe that all of us can allow ourselves to really open fully to our own potential. And I also believe that humanity needs to step into this investigation through education in order to create a society that could be kind to its own kind as well as kind to environment. I believe that manifests one speciality of our own, and that is kindness.
Do it. Now. You're covered with thick cloud. Slide out the side. Die. And be quiet. Quietness is the surest sign that you've died. Your whole life was a frantic, running from silence. The speechless moon comes out now. So, close the language door and open the love window.